Yet another great year has passed by, and yet another great year has begun. Let the good that is old continue and best be introduced. In view of the same, it brings us boundless pleasure to welcome you all to Samvardhan, our journey of learning and teaching together. We will love to showcase a few such examples in front of you with the aim to represent how a simple activity can be given desired shape and can be used effectively across subjects as active learning and engaging ones. The core objective was to ensure maximum participation. We have picked up Freya's model for math and English. The Freya model is a type of graphic organizer that uses a four-square model to determine, clarify, and analyze words, concepts, meaning, and its structure. The Freya model can be used in whole group, small group, or in one-on-one instruction. The key to using this graphic organizer is for the teacher to pre-select the words, topic, and the model, the process of completing each component. Explaining what something can be really hard to do without that person actually experiencing the same thing as you can. One strategy that we often use to explain difficult concept in maths is to discuss non-examples. When we discuss polynomials or any other topic in class, many students might believe that they understand this concept very well because they start learning these concepts in very early classes. However, they might be overgeneralizing. Seeing non-examples would help all gain a better understanding and a much clearer idea of what polynomials exactly are. You can see different templates over here which the children they have filled according to their knowledge of the concept. Their model draws on a student's prior knowledge to build connections among new concepts and creates a visual reference by which students learn to compare the attributes and examples of the concept. A teacher can review a student's understanding about the concept.
Freya's model was introduced to us as a part of a progressive strategy, as a part of an activity which is really good. You could take up it as a pre-reading or else as a post-reading exercise. Literature is what I'm going to focus on today. It's always easy to pick up exercises for grammar, but literature, gives you an option to think. So I would like to begin like this. There is no good in this world that has not been encompassed by literature. For all pieces and forms of literature are windows to the world. It is only through reading that you can give your child good writing and good speaking as skills for life. Literature helps us to do a greater good. So it is the strain of this very spirit that I've tried to capture in my critical reading exercise that I took up in the class. After all, when words are both kind and true, they can change the world. So I couldn't stop myself to share with you how this simple activity taught me the importance of giving space to students and to furnish the information their own way. So the first sample that you could see on the screen is the step 1 for critical reading, which is previewing. So how did I took up this activity was, it is again the same literature chapter from the book, but the chapter was given to the students in the form of a Google Docs. Now, what was the change there? The entire reading process, this is what we call as active reading strategy. I hope everybody keeps on mentioning skimming and scanning, but let me tell you, there is lot beyond skimming and scanning that you can really do. So the first step that was picked up was previewing. The entire chapter was given to the child in the class. Now what they had to do was, they just have to give me the answer for 3 basic questions that I've asked them on day 1. This is the time when they do not know what chapter I'm going to talk about, what chapter am I going to discuss in the class. They have no whereabouts. So it's like just an original, the very new chapter to them. So the questions for previewing that I would like to support everybody was, what does the title tell me about the story? Okay. What was conveyed by the opening sentence of the story? And what information as a student you can glean from the introductory and the concluding paragraph. So I'm really excited to share with you the responses that I received were, they were varied. Some of them really matched my level, whatever I was planning that my kids should be giving me this answer. They were there. Some of them were very, very plaintive. They just composed plaintive lines, but at least the idea was I was able to transform and let them know how do you preview the document. The next day, when the kids have already previewed the entire thing, I actually maintained my calm and we moved stepwise, was annotating, which is the next one you can see on this slide. Now, when we were doing annotating, they were asked, it was a silent reading for them. So the best advantage here was Google Docs, Google Classroom. So when the kids were working, I could really see their work. I could sense what they're doing. So in annotating part, they were asked to highlight the words that they have never read across, they've never come across, they've never ever read in their life. Like it was like marking the key and the essential words. The next was underlining the important ideas. And if they can form an image in their mind, they are going to use a different color to highlight it. They were then asked to quote any personal experience then and there while reading. So they were asked to make a bracket and just read from the text and relate with their experience and place it there on the document. So this document was an editable one. So they were able to, relating the text with with their personal experiences. Then on the same day, they were also suggested to mark the confusing points that warrant a reread. If they come across, it wasn't told to them, but by default, majority of the class picked up red as the mark, and they kept on marking everything red, which was confusing for them. I wanted to show you a lot of slides, but I can ask you to visit my classroom, so those evidences are there. So step 3 now. So this was day 3 to me. My kids by now have understood how to annotate, how to preview the document. Next idea was I have to bring the sense of analysis. How are you going to analyze the text now? So then, because they're comfortable with the words, they've Googled the answers, they have their own experiences, so half job is already done. Now they were asked, they have to claim a statement, they have to think about the protagonist, they have to think about the characters in the story, and whatever they felt was right, not right, problems, they were asked to claim a statement. After they were able to generate a statement, they were asked to mention citations, give me evidences to validate their viewpoint. That means they were asked to make one statement and then they themselves will be validating it. They're going to add me proofs to show me that, okay, ma'am, this is what we have done and this is from where we get this evidence. So what they learned was asked to critique the writer's style, or how are they actually going to appreciate the author's writing style. So whatever I had on my part, I was actually gradually giving it over to them. And the last was responding. Now they have read, they have analyzed, they have given me statements, we had discussions in the classroom. Now they were ready to respond me. They were now capable to generate a personalized response to the story that they have read. Plus, they were able to give me the alternate endings. And I didn't realize, but my classroom actually transformed into a debating base. I could give them a base to debate because each one of them were criticizing each other point of view. And yes, they were coming on a common grounds too. So this critical reading is not just I would not say it's just an activity. I think this is the right way because I experienced it myself, and I would just share it with everybody around. The kind of answers that I got made me to give them remarks then and there itself. I could not resist myself to be waiting for some other day to be, XYZ days to be answering them. You can see there because the screen size is small. So I was reading and simultaneously giving them remarks. The marks would be given later, but the remarks went then and there to them. They gave me their thank yous. Thank you so much, ma'am. The errors, spelling errors, the use of there and there, still in with class 9 people, everything was getting sorted the same day. Now the question comes, how did I get to apply the Freya's model? it was very simple because they've already annotated the word. So I had this in my mind. I have to teach them to use this so that they have a long-term memory. Okay. So what they did was they picked up the words which were difficult that they have highlighted before. They placed them. We did a Freya's model with them. They placed the word in the center. I advised them. I changed it a bit. Instead of making sentences of their own now at this stage, I wanted them to, replace it with illustrations, with pictures. Because when they visually relate, I think the word is halfway there in their mind already. They know the word already. So synonyms, antonyms. So this was how I decided that my Freya model will be to build vocabulary. I got 30 different words, 30 different words in my class, and where I do not have to describe them the meanings. They were ready with their own things. This is now attached in the classroom, and I say it's not less than a visual dictionary to them.